In the top stories, St. Kitts and Nevis joins United Nations 100-day reflection of 1994 genocide. Haiti's transitional government approves security budget, and the Trump administration freezes Harvard funding. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ major newscast. Today is Monday, the 15th of April, and I am Jasmine Thomas. The United Nations New York witnessed the opening of the 100-day period of Kwibuka, referring to the mourning period dedicated to the memory of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations, joined the diplomats, the Rwandan Permanent Mission, Rwandan diaspora, and survivors of the genocide in the hall of the United Nations General Assembly to mark the occasion. The UN Secretary General emphasized that this was not a spontaneous frenzy of horrendous violence. It was intentional, it was premeditated, it was planned, including through the hate speech that inflamed division and spread lies and dehumanization, and it was the product of a collective failure to act. Her Excellency Dr. Mucius Williams affirmed the Federation's solidarity with Rwanda, noting that Caribbean nations understand the lasting impact of genocide. She emphasized the importance of preserving the memory of past atrocities and called for continued efforts to combat hate, tribalism, discrimination, and supremacy. Dr. Williams underscored that reconciliation, renewal, and unity are essential to building a more just and inclusive global society. Senior fisherman Franklin Daniel and his family are overflowing with gratitude following the Nevis Island administration's donation of a brand new Yamaha Enduro outboard engine, restoring Mr. Daniel's ability to return to sea and continue the trade that has sustained him for over 6 decades. In an emotional social media post shared shortly after the heartfelt presentation ceremony on the 10th of April, Mr. Daniel expressed his appreciation for the overwhelming support he received following the loss of his boat Envy Monica on the 15th of January. The donation, valued at EC $12,800, was made by the NIA after the vessel was returned without its engine, leaving Mr. Daniel, who is in his 80s and still actively fishing, unable to earn a living. Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources, Deputy Premier the Honorable Eric Evelyn, said after speaking about the incident, the Cabinet made a unanimous decision to donate a brand new engine to Mr. Daniel. Several extension officers from the Department of Agriculture, St. Kitts, recently took to the fields to conduct on-site inspections of farms across the island as part of the department's annual farm judging competition. On Tuesday the 8th and Wednesday 9th April, extension officers responsible for various agricultural districts visited farms to assess and evaluate them under a number of key categories. Representing District 1 was Officer Guy Richardson. District 2 was represented by Leroy Merritt and Mark Adams, and District 3 by Dion Weeks and Maisha Daly. The competition, held annually, aims to recognize excellence in crop farming and encourages continuous improvement in farm practices across the island. Farms are evaluated in several categories, including under 5 acres, over 5 acres, fruit and tree crop, protected agriculture, most produce to marketing unit. In addition, the extension staff assessed farms on attributes such as cultural practices, sanitation, and plot design, all of which contribute to the final score used to determine the island's crop farmer of the year. The crop farmer of the year will be selected based on the results of these inspections and announced during the World Food Day week of activities in October 2025. On the regional scene, the Transitional Presidential Council, TPC, says it has approved US $275,000 towards dealing with the security crisis facing the French-speaking Caribbean community, CARICOM member country Haiti. It said that the funding represents the commitment of the state to act decisively with the criminal gangs that control most of the capital and are seeking to overthrow the government. It said that nearly 20% of the funding will go towards fortifying the border with the Dominican Republic. According to the TPC statement, funding will also be provided for social programs as well as on education, health, and humanitarian assistance. Last week, the International Organization for Migration, IOM, said armed attacks in the past few weeks in the center department's communes of Sordo and Maribalais have displaced more than 30,000 people. Last Sunday, CARICOM governments issued a strong condemnation of recent reports that criminal gangs in Haiti are threatening to overthrow the transitional government through violence. And the Ministry of Health and Wellness has received a donation of 70 hospital beds valued at $27.7 million from the Florida-based non-governmental organization NGO Advent Health in partnership with Andrews Memorial Hospital. The beds, which will be distributed to public hospitals across the island, were officially handed over to the ministry during a ceremony held on Thursday, the 10th of April, at the Andrews Memorial Seventh-day Adventist Church in Kingston. This marks the second such donation by the two Seventh-day Adventist healthcare institutions. The initiative was carried out in collaboration with the Good Samaritan Inn Foundation, the charitable arm of the Adventist Church in Jamaica, and the coordinating body responsible for importing the beds into the country. Speaking at the ceremony, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Errol Green, underscored the importance of the donation. Meanwhile, the ministry continues to focus on strengthening Jamaica's healthcare system through strategic investments, modernization efforts, and collaborative partnerships. On the international scene, the Trump administration has said it is freezing more than $2 billion in federal funds for Harvard University, hours after the elite college rejected a list of demands from the White House. The White House sent a list of demands to Harvard last week, which it said were designed to fight anti-Semitism on campus. They included changes to hiring, admissions, and teaching. Since Donald Trump was re-elected, his government has tried to reshape elite universities by threatening to withhold federal funds mostly spent on research. Harvard became the first major U.S. university to reject the administration's demands on Monday, accusing the White House of trying to control its community. The sweeping changes demanded by the White House would have transformed its operations and ceded a large amount of control to the government. Its letter to Harvard on Friday, obtained by the New York Times, said the university had failed to live up to the intellectual and the civil rights conditions that justify federal investment. And vehicles were set alight outside several French prisons, and one jail was hit by gunfire from an automatic weapon in a wave of overnight attacks. The Justice Minister said the jails had faced intimidation attempts and linked the attacks to the government's crackdown on drug trafficking. 7 establishments were targeted, according to the Parisien newspaper, in South France and near Paris. France's National Anti-Terrorism Prosecutor's Office said it was investigating. In a post on X, the minister said he was traveling to support affected officers at the prison in Toulon, which was targeted with gunfire. Without directly attributing blame for the attacks, he said the French government was facing up to the problem of drug trafficking and taking measures that would profoundly disrupt criminal networks. And now for a look at the weather. The present weather is partly cloudy with light skies. Winds are a gentle breeze of 8 miles per hour from a northeasterly direction. The temperature is 25 degrees Celsius or 76 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are from the east at 10 to 18 miles per hour. Seas are 12 to 15 meters or 4 to 5 feet. The weather forecast for today and tonight predicts partly cloudy skies with a 40% or moderate chance of brief light showers. Sunset today will be at 6:27. Sunrise tomorrow morning will be at around 5 minutes before 6. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for joining us. I am Jasmine Thomas. Grace be to you and peace be multiplied.